So, getting more specific.
We just put these with our tags.
Yeah, just pile them all up. I'll get them. You know how to graph a quadratic with parent functions, right? You should. Okay. So we're going to take 2 days. Like I told you, the point of this chapter is finding zeros of a function or x-intercepts. So today and tomorrow we're focused on quadratics. That's all we're going to look at. How do I calculate zeros of a quadratic function? Okay. There are 4. So we have factoring, graphing, completing the square, and quadratic formula. 4 methods. Each of them have their own uses. That's why I teach you all 4 of them. Okay, but there are some that work every time. So if you want to use those, fine, take your pick. Graphically solving for zeros, roots, x-intercepts. Okay, for graphing purposes, these are called x-intercepts. Okay, so we see graph x squared minus 1 and calculate the x-intercepts. Okay. X squared. Now this is where you have to be precise. Okay. Because if you aren't precise, your x-intercepts will be wrong. I suggest using a calculator if you are not precise. I showed you how to calculate zeros yesterday on the calculator. What are the x-intercepts? Yeah. Negative 1 and 1. You can look at the graph. Bam, bam, right? Okay. Again, you can name those roots or zeros as well. Right? How would I do that algebraically? Yeah.
So if it's x squared, will it always pass it?
It can be a here and not.
Yeah, and not pass it.
So the y value here is 0, correct? So plug 0 in for y. Now solve.
You do that to do what? To figure out the 0?
Figure out the zeros or the x-intercepts. Now, on this one, this is where you need to be very careful. Okay. Your inclination is to add 1 in square root, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to plus or minus the square root of 1.
Right.
Well, wouldn't you just do that normally?
So in this case, it works, right? So you get the same answer. Do you remember how to factor?
It's been a long time.
I know that.
I like that.
Okay, so
Different ways, is that what you're talking about, Arthur? There's so many different ways.
now I I put a 0 in here for a reason.
Because you got y equals.
When I factor, I end up with two binomials. Right? I need x and x, because it's x squared, x times x.
This just is
Yeah.
plus 1x, plus 1
Plus 1 and minus 1y.
Because, what do we get?
Okay, they need to multiply to get -1 and add up to get 0. Okay. If you're interested, we'll get, next week I'll show you this. This is called the difference of two squares. So it could be x squared minus 4, right? 4 is 2 squared. That's a squared, so it would be x minus 2 and x plus 2. This is x minus 1 and x plus 1.
So you could just FOIL that out?
And it would get you back to the same answer. Now, what are the roots? -1 and 1. Okay. So that's basic factoring. Are you comfortable with that? Do you want me to show you another one?
So the 0 of this is
Harder.
Can we do it as factoring one, please?
Well, we're going to get harder.
Can you do that for a second?
Does that mean like this plus or minus 1 equals x and 0?
Yeah, this, the -1 makes this 0, 1 makes that 0.
Without the 1 without algebra.
This is algebra. Same answers all the way through. Well, okay. Factoring. This is method 2. Does graphing always work? No. Can you always find the x-intercepts on a graph?
No.
No. Why not?
Can, but
Not like that.
It's like in a position
Okay. So the answer is yes, but is it precise?
No.
Okay, so always works. If you do it by hand, it may not be precise. Okay. There is a time and place. This is what happens when I think and write at the same time. There's a time and a place for graphing it and using that information. Okay. Okay, factoring doesn't always work. But it is exact or precise. Yeah, whatever word you want to use. Okay, so keep that in mind. You may not be able to factor. Sometimes it's the easiest way to do it. So, what are the roots of that equation? Jake, I have a different question, but I'll let someone else do it.
Can I go? I just have a quick question.
Is it pertaining to this? Yeah.
I got you.
You got nothing.
-1.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, we're just gonna hold on, Jake.
No, I got my question.
That's what I'm gonna ask.
Isn't the grade compactor?
Which ones?
-3 and -2.
Run into 3.
Multiply to +6, right?
Yeah.
Add to -5. What is the roots?
3 and 2.
Oh, basically.
2 and 3. I do prefer that you write them in order.
Is this the thing where like you remember to use a little
That was
add-on
one method that, yeah, so if you're, sounds like a lot of you were taught this. This is something I've never used.
I hate that.
The box thingy?
That was fun, right? I like that. Now, tell me if I'm right, because I've never
Yeah.
done this.
Yeah.
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 That's what we're trying to teach.
Except you did backwards.
Oh, I did it. Oh, well, that's what I'm saying, correct?
You had to tell us that.
You're so angry about that.
That was like all anger.
Did it backwards! X's?
Yes.
Yeah.
And? What? Yes?
Yes.
Now, how, is that
think you just like multiply.
Okay, what do I do with that information?
No, I remember how to do it now. I remember how to do it. So instead of the x's, those become the x's, the sides do. But the top is 6, and then the bottom is -5.
Yeah, I was like 100% sure.
Because you gotta find.
No, you put 2.
I'm so lost. Somebody write that up.
I got you. Put it. You have to put 2 and 3.
Go.
Monte,
Go on,
Monte,
you're the
go.
master of it. You got him on
I don't want to screw you all up, so I'm just going to let someone else know what they're
But
doing.
you never
Alright,
learned
Monte.
this.
No, I've never learned this.
So I do. Back to my question. I have a question. So
It's backwards.
when does it not always work? Like what would that be?
Wait a second.
You have to find two numbers, multiply 6, and add -5.
Yep.
Oh, I get it.
Okay. Did you know you list?
So there are no X's in this.
No.
That's why I was so.
That's
The X
good
is
to
the
know.
multiply symbol.
Yeah, the X is like, yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I was doing, and then I was
Multiply
like, wait, maybe
and
I'm just that guy.
Here's another way to do
I know, I know.
it. Don't use that method then.
Hey, I know how to do
Does this look
it.
familiar?
I know how to do it.
Those are awful. Biologists
We're,
love the Punnett
we're
square.
live.
So, here's, just calm down. Okay, method works, use it. If it works for you, use it. Here's a different one. If it works for you, use it. The Punnett square factoring. Okay, we have x squared and 6. These two numbers have to add up to -5. Okay, so what numbers add up to -5? So multiply to get 6. What if I put 2 and 3 here? That's times 6, right? But 2x and 3x is not -5. Right? But if I make these negative, those add up to -5 now. So you have your factors already lined up. Okay. So here are x minus 2x minus 3. So there's another way to do it.
I love the one.
Jaden,
So what would be a point of formula that would not work for factoring? What do you mean by that?
something that let's say this is 8. Okay, 4 times 2. Does anything that multiplies to get 8 add up to -5?
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work.
Okay.
Okay. All right, harder factoring. Let's say that we have this one.
You have to factor up the
This is where you add this number in front, and you have to consider it. Okay, I cannot just say, Justin, multiplies to get -12, adds to get -5. Okay, because this number has a bearing on what goes on in here. So, method 1 is just give it a shot. We know it has to be 2x and x, right? To make 2x squared. Okay. -12.
Negative 1, positive 3.
One of them has to be negative, so let's try -4 and 3. You said.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. That'd be a good one.
Now, what if you did
But
negative 4 on
here's why you have to consider the curved front.
Oh, because one's number at the front.
Yeah.
When you FOIL this, you have to consider first outers. See how the 2 has a bearing on that?
Oh. So when
The
you
outers is -8x,
but wait,
but inners is 3x, right?
okay.
Does that give you -5?
Yes.
Ah, so we actually, first shot. I just took whatever you told me. So that was guess and check. That's what this is. Okay. So this here gives us negative 5x, which fortunately for us worked. So, but you gotta consider, it could also be negative 4 and 3, it could be negative 3 and 4, it could be negative 3 and 4, you could do 6 and 2 in all iterations, you could do negative 12 and 1, negative 1 and 12. So the only possibilities this is starting to come up with, right? This is a easy method if you get it pretty quick, but if you don't, it can take you a long time. Okay, Jade?
So if it was 4x squared, you'd have to put 2x on both the parentheses, right?
If it was
4x squared, it'd be 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 4.
No, because they're
oh, you said 4x squared?
Yeah, if it was 4x
So
squared,
you
you'd
had
have
4x and x or 2x and 2x?
Yeah, 2x and 2x.
Possibly.
You
Yeah.
can do it either way.
Here's some strategic options for you.
Wait, what's your answer?
For that, for the whole trying to factor it, could you just take the, I'm trying to think what it's called, the number in front of x and subtract it from the one that has the 5x? That's what I did.
What?
Yeah.
So, it's 2x squared.
Yeah.
The way
No,
you
go.
did it,
I just, it didn't-
2x
it didn't-
squared, so I did negative 5x plus 2. And it's 7. This is,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, negative 5x plus 2, 7. How does that help? Because those are
then
7.
4 and 3. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Just me being me.
Yes,
Awesome.
yep.
Yeah, it's not her being weird.
I would bet we could find an example where it doesn't work. A counter. Okay. Here's how I usually default on these. I usually use this. So we have 2x squared and negative 12. And negative 5x. Right? This just gives you a structure to work with. Okay, it's the same result, just gives you a structure to work with. So, again, multiply, numbers that multiply to get negative 12.
4 and 3.
We know the answer. What if I switch them on accident? We get negative 4x and 3x, does that add up to negative 5?
Wait, no, because that'd be 6.
That's negative 1, right?
Oh, but wouldn't that be 6x?
Oh, it would be 6x.
But either way,
But still, it's 2x?
Yeah.
It doesn't work, right? So, try again.
trial and error.
Yeah. It's still a trial and error method. So those add up to negative 5, right? And you have your factors here. What are the zeros of this function?
Did you bring up positive 4?
Okay. No. If I plug negative 3 in here,
It's like 3.
does not mean
Negative 1.5 and 4.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I plugged it in.
it's difficult. You can split them out. So many of you can still do this in your head. Okay, fine. If you can't, subtract 3 and divide by 2. So you have your zeros.
Up there on the top of the table, that minus 3x.
3x
So why
negative
why
x.
is it 3?
Because 3 minus 8 is negative.
Oh, okay.
All right, one more. We
break, won't work.
Where what?
Not factoring this other one.
Graphing and factoring, well, that's it. Let me know if you think of it.
So would you just say that every time we have a problem like this, we can use a calculator to calculate the profit so that we can.
Sometimes factoring is easier. Okay. So here's how you can narrow down your options. You remember quadratics, those are A, B, and C? Right? Okay. Here's how you can narrow down your options. What is A times C? 2 times 24, right?
Negative.
Fine. It's not gonna matter, but it's just that's fine. Okay, what are the factors of 24? So we have, I'm hearing them. 8. If I'm being strategic, I go
1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 6, 4.
okay, that's it. Right? Do any of those, and we have negatives and positives, right? It has to be negative 24. Do any of those add up to negative 5? So you can look at this and strategically place your negative. Is there any way to make negative 5? No. You can make negative 2 or 2, right? Is there any way to make negative 5?
Yes.
You've just narrowed your options and made it faster. These numbers are your numbers in here. Okay, so now I can build my square easier. 2x squared, negative 12, negative 8x, and 3x, right? Because that's the number I got. That means that if this is 2x, this is x, this is negative 4. So using that A times C multiplication and factoring that number can narrow down your results very quickly. Okay?
So that work all the time?
It works. If you can factor it, that works. Okay? Questions? You're going to get a lot better at factoring. I think it sounds like you have the basics, but getting these down. Whatever.
And that's why if you didn't have to factor, you probably did.
This is, so 4.2, the book tells me to do it a day, but we're going to take tomorrow and do quadratic formula and complete the square. So this is not due until Tuesday. Okay. Mr. Arthur. What? Am I ignoring your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can ignore all factoring.
I already asked 2 questions, I know, but you didn't, I don't know, finish my second question. When I was asking for like, if it was 4x squared, could both ways work, so like if it was 4x and then x and then 2x, does they both work?
Possibly.
Okay.
Sometimes yes, most of the time no. Okay, do Tuesday. There are some in here that are completing the square and quadratic formula, so if you try it tonight, just skip those unless you know how to do it.
So will we go over even the square tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna do the other 2 methods. So, because we didn't have class Tuesday, We were gonna do something tomorrow, but now we have to erase it. Sorry.
Old man over there.
That's a problem.
You got a few minutes, so try one if you have questions.
So that makes I don't do drugs.
I asked you.
Second day in a row, man.
I just asked if you wanted to get some fun.
Well, I'm free.
Yeah.
Cocaine is not my game.
You want to eat or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we airball it, like drag it or something. He's like, hey, mine too. Like, I airball to the talking. I make my this couple. He's like, no. So I'm guessing you guys are missing free throws.
Well, Bob's got a lot more for you.
Some of our students are bad.
Math class, put them away.
Gotcha, Garrett. Get him, Mr. Arthur.
Oh.
Not up in your class.
Yeah, they're pretty intense about cell phones.
If you didn't own it, then everybody else.
Like that. I have a choice to let it go on. No, it beeps, so did it cause a disruption? About 5 seconds. If I had said give it to me, that would have been another 10 seconds for the waste of our time. So I let it go.
I appreciate your philosophy.
If it causes a problem tomorrow, it happens. I leave mine on once in a while. And then in class it goes on. Because my ringtone is there.
Is it like a little bit? Or
There was some.
with the pink since you ate all that candy? Are you a fan? Why?
Idolizing murderers is not something I'm curious why do you like it? I guess that's my question.
Oh my god.
That likes you so much. I don't know if I'm in the same position as you. Revolutionary. For the people. So look at what he did after he got his house. He killed a lot of people. He saved the people that he housed.
Read this stuff out.
Quantitative relationships in the real world. It's hard,
We see for people.
It's not my fault. You're probably